few years ago, 5 or so at this point, I was called by a university in Saudi Arabia. And every year, they were a relatively young university, about 10 or 11 years old at the time. And they called me and said, every year we do this leadership series for our top executives across the entire university. So the whole top layer of the university goes through this executive development experience every year because they bring in people from all over the world. So it builds culture within their institution, but it also makes sure that the people who are coming there aren't feeling isolated from some of the kind of leading edge voices and experiences that they could get maybe in one of their home countries. And I said, sure, absolutely, I'd love to do that. I was terrified. But I said, can you give me a little bit of perspective about who came last year? And they were like, oh, Harvard. Oh, Harvard came. And you want me to go next? Oh, got you, all right. Yeah. So maybe I can just get a sneak peek, like just tell me what you already covered, right? And that's the kind of work that I've been doing all of those years where people would come and say, can you do? And the stakes seemed so high that I just had to work so hard. And so I was just digging so deep to try to figure out, like, what does the very best look like? What is the absolute, not just contemporary best practice, but next practice? And what's always going to be globally applicable, right? Because it's easy to get kind of in the weeds of what I know in my region or in my own country. But when you're being called to work at a global level, you got to be able to pan out and say, do these concepts and do these ideas actually translate? So that's where DeEtta Jones and Associates came from, is that for many years, actually about 15 years, it was me kind of out doing my own journey in through the desert and exploring and building my own capacity and my own experiences. And then just 4 or 5 years ago, I said, you know what? I really think we need to go to something else now. We need to really transition to something that actually models what it can and should look like when we totally 100% embrace the diversity that we preach. And so I started hiring and I assembled, well, not assemble is probably not the right word, but pulled together this amazing group of people who come from such extraordinarily different walks of life. Their paths are different, their identities are different, the way that they think and talk and act and operate are all different from each other. And we're kind of like this wonderful experiment of, if we're really going to be inclusive and we really are going to value every voice and we really are going to believe that genius lives at the intersection, and also we know that it takes more work, let's practice it amongst ourselves first. And that's who we are, and that's what we do, and that's what DeEtta Jones and Associates is.